Okay, wow, get ready for this. Today we're diving headfirst into Dogecoin. You sent over some crazy articles about its price jump. I mean, are you kidding me? Over 143% in just 1 week. So we're here to dissect this whole thing. Is this just hype or something bigger going on?
Yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride, that's for sure. And, the timing is just, it's fascinating. Like, this isn't happening in isolation. There are some pretty major things happening right now. Like, with someone claiming victory in the election, it's definitely, um, let's just say it's adding a bit of fuel to the fire in the markets.
Right, right. So it's like when the regular financial world gets a little rocky,
Uh,
people start looking for somewhere else to put their money, right? So are some people turning to Dogecoin because it feels, I don't know, like safer than all the political stuff going on?
Hmm. It's really interesting when you think about it from a psychological perspective. When everything feels chaotic and unpredictable, people just they want something stable, something they can rely on. And for some people that might mean taking a chance on, something like Dogecoin. It feels separate from the traditional systems. Maybe they'd even lost faith in those systems. It's almost like a rebellion against, the establishment. But also there's that little bit of hope that what if this really takes off?
And then, of course, you've got the whole Elon Musk thing on top of all of that. He's like a huge Dogecoin fan, right? And his tweets, they can make the entire crypto world go crazy.
Yeah.
So is he part of why Dogecoin is surging too?
Well, there's no question that Musk loves Dogecoin and his enthusiasm definitely has an impact. But I think this recent surge is more than just that. It's more like a combination of things coming together at the same time. So yes, the political climate and all the uncertainty that comes with it is playing a role. But we're also seeing a pretty big shift in who's actually buying Dogecoin too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How?
Well, there's data from Sentiment showing a huge influx of smaller investors. Thousands of brand new wallets holding Dogecoin have just appeared out of nowhere. Imagine a flood of everyday people, not just the big time investors. They see the price going up, hitting $0.40, which we haven't seen since June 2021, and they think, "Hey, I want to get in on that action."
So it's not just the whales, as they call them. It's more of a grassroots thing driven by, FOMO, fear of missing out, and everyone hoping to strike it rich with Dogecoin.
You got it. It's that wave of enthusiasm combined with, the anxieties in the wider market. It's all coming together to create this perfect storm for Dogecoin. But and this is the big question, the million-dollar question, is it sustainable?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It almost sounds too good to be true. Huge gains, tons of hype, the price keeps going up. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around.
You're right to be a bit cautious because while all the excitement is, contagious, the data is telling us to take a step back and look a little closer. One thing that stands out is that Dogecoin has blasted past its usual price range. Imagine a highway with lanes. Well, the commodity channel index, that's a key indicator we look at. It's telling us that Dogecoin is speeding in the fast lane, way past its normal cruising speed.
So it's overdoing it a little right now.
Yeah, we call this overbought territory in technical terms, and that's often a signal that a correction might be coming. The market taking a bit of a breather. Think of it like stretching a rubber band. You can only stretch it so far before it snaps back.
So all that incredible growth, it might not last. Is there anything else that's pointing to a potential downturn?
Well, the relative strength index, that's another metric we use to track market momentum. It's currently sitting at get this, a whopping 93.36. We haven't seen numbers like that since March 2024. It's another indication that things might be getting a little too hot in the Dogecoin market.
Okay, so we've got a ton of excitement, a whole bunch of new investors, and some indicators that are flashing warning signs.
Yeah.
So where does all that leave Dogecoin in terms of, its price and its place in the whole crypto world?
Well, right now, Dogecoin is trading at 0.428 cents, which is a pretty remarkable 54% increase in just the last 24 hours. This massive surge has pushed its market cap above $60 billion. It's now at wait for it, a staggering $62 billion. To put that in perspective, that's back to levels we haven't seen since May 2021.
Wow, that's a serious comeback. So where does that put Dogecoin among all the other cryptocurrencies?
Right now, it's the sixth largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Not bad for a coin that, started as a joke. But now everyone's watching, wondering what's next. Will it keep climbing or will it come crashing down?
Yeah, that is a million-dollar question. So what are the experts saying? What are they predicting?
Well, there are a couple of different schools of thought on this. Some analysts, like Ali Martinez, are extremely bullish on Dogecoin.
Bullish meaning they think it's going to keep going up
Right.
to the moon.
Exactly. Martinez believed that Dogecoin could test the upper limits of its long-term upward trend, potentially reaching $2.40 or even $18.
Whoa, $18. Talk about moonshot. But you mentioned that there are like other more cautious perspectives as well.
Oh, absolutely. While those potential gains are, definitely exciting, it's really important to balance that excitement with a healthy dose of realism. A more cautious approach would be to look at the key resistance levels. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Every so often you hit a really steep cliff that's harder to climb. For Dogecoin, that cliff is $0.40.
Okay, so if you can get past your run 40 cents, that's a good sign.
Exactly. It would suggest that there's strong buying pressure and that the upward trend might continue. But if it can't hold on to that level, we could see a correction.
Meaning the price drops, like back down the mountain.
Precisely. And if that happens, potential targets for the correction could be around 35 cents or even $28.
So it sounds like Dogecoin is standing right at the edge of a cliff. It could reach new heights or it could tumble back down. That's a pretty intense situation.
It is. And that's what makes this such a fascinating time to be watching Dogecoin. It's a meme coin that's become a major player, and it's keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. It's like we're all strapped into a roller coaster just waiting to see where it goes next.
Okay, so we've definitely established that Dogecoin's on like a wild ride right now. But even if there is a correction, which by the way you explained that so well with the rubber band analogy in the mountain climbing, doesn't necessarily mean that it's like game over for Dogecoin, right?
You're absolutely right. It's really important to remember that corrections they're a normal part of market cycles. It's like a pressure valve. It helps to prevent, a much bigger, scarier crash later on. It's almost like the market's just taking a deep breath before it makes its next move.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for someone who's like holding on to their Dogecoin right now, maybe they bought in when it was a lot cheaper. Should they be like keeping an eye on?
I'd say the most important thing is to watch those key resistance levels we talked about, especially that $1.40 mark. If Dogecoin can stay above that, hold steady, it's a really positive sign. It suggests that the upward trend might keep going.
But if it dips below 40 cents, that's when things could get a little risky.
Exactly. We might see the selling pressure increase.
Yeah.
And that could lead to, that correction we were talking about.
Gotcha. Okay. That's helpful for like people who are already invested. But what about someone who's thinking about buying Dogecoin right now? What advice would you give them?
My advice is always the same when it comes to investing, especially with something as volatile and dynamic as cryptocurrency. Do your research, Don't just jump in because you see the price going up and think, "Oh, I'm going to get rich quick." That's how people end up losing money.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype, for sure, especially when you see all those headlines about, Dogecoin making these crazy gains. FOMO is a powerful thing. But it can also lead to like some really impulsive decisions that you might regret later on.
Absolutely. You need to understand the risks involved. Have a clear strategy, and this is so important. Never ever invest more than you can afford to lose.
That's like the golden rule of investing, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Diversification is key. But let's zoom out for a second. Let's look at the bigger picture. Dogecoin's surge it's a really interesting case study. It shows how market psychology works, and it shows the power of online communities.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we've seen how all these different factors, political events, the excitement of all these new investors, and you can't deny it, the influence of someone like Elon Musk, all of that can come together to create this perfect storm. And it pushes a cryptocurrency like Dogecoin to new heights.
It's like these different forces they're feeding off each other, creating this upward spiral. But what's really interesting to me is that, Dogecoin started as a joke, as a meme, and now it's this major player in the crypto market. I mean, that's got to be pretty
It
unprecedented.
really is remarkable. It shows that the value of a cryptocurrency, it's not always about the underlying technology or its utility. Sometimes it's about belief, about the community, and the shared narrative that develops around it.
So are you saying that Dogecoin's value is like mostly based on hype?
I'd say hype is definitely playing a role. Dogecoin it's captured the imagination of this massive online community, and that community has shown that it has real power to influence the price.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more people believe in it, the more valuable it becomes.
You could say that. It's a fascinating dynamic, and it raises a really important question. Can a cryptocurrency that started as a joke, can it really achieve lasting success in the financial world?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess only time will tell. But No matter what happens to Dogecoin in the long run, its recent surge has definitely shaken things up,
Hmm.
not just in the crypto world, but beyond.
I completely agree. It reminds us that in the world of cryptocurrency, anything is possible. The rules are still being written, which is exciting, but also a little bit daunting, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's a wild ride,
Yeah.
and we're all just holding on for dear life. But before we get too carried away with all the excitement and uncertainty, I think it's important to come back to what you said earlier about responsible investing, especially for our listeners who are maybe new to the crypto world and are thinking about jumping in with Dogecoin or any other cryptocurrency for that matter.
That's a really important point. It's so easy to get swept up in all the hype, but it's crucial to remember that cryptocurrency it's still relatively new, and it's a very volatile asset class.
Right. It's not for the faint of heart.
Exactly. That's why education is so important. Take the time to learn about the technology, the risks involved, and develop a solid investment strategy. And never forget that golden rule: never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Like a mantra, everyone should repeat that before making any investment decisions. But of course, with Dogecoin, there's another layer of complexity, right? Because its value is so tied to like market sentiment and these online communities. It can be even more unpredictable than other cryptocurrencies.
You're absolutely right. While all cryptocurrencies are subject to market volatility, Dogecoin's price movements are often amplified by the actions and opinions of its community.
So it's not just about like analyzing charts and technical indicators. You have to understand the social dynamics too,
Exactly. It's this unique blend of technology, finance, and social psychology.
which, I mean, that's what makes it so captivating. It's like we're watching a social experiment unfold in real time.
Exactly. It reminds us that in the crypto world, the human element, it can be just as powerful as the technology itself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on Dogecoin, what are the key takeaways for our listeners, especially those who are new to all of this and maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this information? Where do they go from here?
Well, first of all, I think it's totally normal to feel overwhelmed. The world of cryptocurrency it's complex. It's constantly changing. There's always something new to learn, and it can feel like a lot to take in, but that's also what makes it so exciting.
Right. It's like a never-ending adventure.
Exactly. So my advice would be to embrace that feeling of curiosity and start exploring. There are so many resources available, online articles, videos, podcasts like this one. They can help you understand the basics. And then you can delve deeper into the specific things about cryptocurrency that you find interesting.
That's great advice. Start with the basics. Find what sparks your interest, and then don't be afraid to ask questions.
And remember, learning about cryptocurrency, it's an ongoing journey. There's no need to rush. You don't have to become an expert overnight. Take your time, be patient, and enjoy the process.
That's a great way to put it. It's not a race, it's a journey.
And who knows, along the way, you might even find yourself captivated by the story of Dogecoin, a cryptocurrency that started as a joke, but has become a symbol of the power of online communities and the unpredictable nature of the digital age.
It's a story that's still being written, and we're all watching to see what happens next. But before we completely wrap things up, I think it's important to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the potential risks of investing in cryptocurrency, especially something as volatile as Dogecoin.
You're right, that's an excellent point. While the potential for gains is definitely exciting, it's so important to approach cryptocurrency investing with a clear understanding of the risks involved. The value of any cryptocurrency, Dogecoin included, can fluctuate dramatically, and there's always a chance that you could lose money.
So what can our listeners do to mitigate those risks and make more informed decisions?
Well, the first step is to educate yourself. As I mentioned earlier, there are tons of resources available, online, offline, that can help you understand the fundamentals of cryptocurrency, the different types of coins, the technology behind them, and the things that can influence their value.
So it's about being an informed investor, not just blindly following the hype or chasing quick profits.
Exactly. Take the time to research different cryptocurrencies. Understand their use cases, assess their potential for growth, look beyond the headlines, and really dig into the details. And remember, there's no shame in asking for help or advice from experienced investors or financial advisors.
That's great advice. It's like with any investment, the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to make smart decisions.
And speaking of smart decisions, one of the most important things you can do is diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say. Spread your investments across different asset classes, including cryptocurrency, but again, Never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Right, diversification is key. And setting realistic expectations is important too.
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and dream of getting rich quick. But it's important to remember that investing is a long game. Patience and discipline are essential.
So slow and steady wins the race.
In a way, yes. It's about making informed decisions, managing your risks, and staying focused on your long-term financial goals.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today, from the technical stuff about Dogecoin's price surge to the bigger implications for the crypto market and even the psychology of investing. But as we wrap up this deep dive, is there one final piece of advice you'd give our listeners? Something they can take away and apply to their own journey into the crypto world?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the world of cryptocurrency, it's still relatively young. It's constantly evolving, full of possibilities and uncertainties. So embrace the uncertainty, stay curious, and never stop learning.
That's a great message to end on. Stay curious, never stop learning, and buckle up for the ride.
Wow, it's been quite a journey digging into Dogecoin. And honestly, it feels like we've only scratched the surface here. Yeah, it's true. The world of cryptocurrency, especially, a phenomenon like Dogecoin, it's constantly changing and evolving. What's true today could be completely different tomorrow. That's the nature of this space. It's dynamic, unpredictable, full of surprises.
So basically, we need to stay flexible, keep learning,
Yeah.
and be ready for anything.
Exactly. And that's why this deep dive, even though it's been packed with information, it's really just like a snapshot in time. It's giving you a foundation, a way to understand Dogecoin's position right now. But the story doesn't end here.
You're right. Things change so fast in the crypto world. It's like trying to hold on to water. It's constantly shifting and flowing.
That's a great analogy, and that's why it's so important to stay informed. Do your own research, keep up with the latest news, don't just rely on any one source, even us.
Okay, so no matter what happens with Dogecoin, whether it, goes to the moon or takes a dip, the key is to stay engaged, keep learning. That's how we navigate this exciting, sometimes confusing world of cryptocurrency.
Absolutely. Think of this deep dive as a launching pad for your own exploration. We've given you the tools and the insights. Now it's your turn to decide what it all means for you and for your own financial journey.
So the adventure continues. This has been an awesome deep dive into Dogecoin, its history, the recent price surge, all the forces driving it. But as we wrap up, I think it's important to say again, this is not financial advice.
Definitely not. This deep dive is meant to be an informative, get you thinking. But it's not a replacement for personalized financial advice. Everyone's situation is different, and it's important to make decisions that are right for you.
So if our listeners are thinking about investing in Dogecoin, or any cryptocurrency really, they should talk to a financial advisor, someone who understands their specific needs and goals.
Exactly. A financial advisor can help you figure out your risk tolerance, develop a strategy that's tailored for you, and make sure you're making smart choices. Choices that fit with your overall financial plan.
And remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about cryptocurrency, the better prepared you'll be to navigate this exciting and constantly evolving world. This deep dive has given you a solid foundation. Now it's your turn to build on it.
And who knows, maybe the next time we do a deep dive on Dogecoin, it'll be to celebrate its trip to the moon.
Until then, happy exploring, everyone.